For question 18, we are given an exponential function. So x are real number means we have no limit here. We are taking all part of our graph, all the real number. Find f inverse. So we will start our f inverse. Let our f inverse equals to y. Then fy equals to x. So it will become e 3y plus 4 equals to x. So I have to find out this y at the power here. So first of all, I move the 4 to the right hand side. Then I log this e so that the y can be going down. So it will become 3y. When I have a log e, it is a ln for this x minus 4. And then move the 3, it will be 1 over 3 ln x minus 4. So this is our f inverse. So this is our first mark. Plug in the y into the function of f, and then simplify it to get ln, and then until we get the answer y. That will be our inverse function. So we have 5 marks here. After that, we go into the next part of the questions, which is question B. They ask us on the same axis, sketch the graph fx and f inverse. So we have to use the concept of reflection and then state the domain of fx and f inverse. So before that, I would like to do the domain and f inverse domain first before we start drawing. So for my original function here, so fx original function is e3x plus 4. So for this domain, it will be infinity to infinity because it's not a special case, but for range, we can read for range here. Exponential function is our special case. When I close this exponential function, I can see a value 4. And this exponential function is positive. So it will be asymptote 4 to infinity. So means that my exponential function is going up. It's going up. Dia adalah di atas asymptote kita. Then I will start drawing the graph. So make sure we do our x-axis and y-axis correctly. And then by referring to our exponential function bentuk dia adalah macam buaian. So dia going up and then power dia positif, maksudnya dia akan rata asymptote di belah kiri dan dia shoot up di belah kanan. And don't forget we do our reflection line, y equals to x. So we will draw our first graph, exponential function. Start with the asymptote y equals to 4. So you can see 4 here range, so y equals to 4. This is our asymptote where y equals to 4. And then our exponential function power 3 is positive, so it will shoot up at right hand side. So this will be our function, exponential function. When we meet the intercept here, so we have to show up what is our intercept. When x equals to 0, we find our y, e power 0 plus 4. So it is equals to 1 plus 4, which is 5. So this is our interception at value of 5. Then kita akan lipat kertas kita dan kita gores bersama dengan asymptote juga. Okay, so we can notice that our asymptote, it will be reflected horizontal asymptote will be refracted, become vertical asymptote. So this green color is our refracted asymptote. So when horizontal asymptote y equals to 4, means vertical asymptote x is equals to 4. And then the refraction here. So echo kaki ni, exponential punya tempat buaian rata di sini, kita akan nampak kesan refraction dia di sini. So this is our F inverse in green color. So whatever I have already refract, which is 5, I have to take down, and then don't forget this origin. So coincident our refracted graph, it is bertindih dengan function yang original, it is okay. Okay, so this is our original graph. Secara kebetulan kita punya graph pantulan ni terpantul atas tempat fx ni, so it is okay, let it like that. Just make sure you label the things correctly. Alright, so these 6 marks, it will involve, the first one is our, we haven't finished yet. We have to something, state the domain of the function and domain of the f inverse. So I already done the domain of the function, but I haven't do the domain of f inverse. So domain of f inverse, I will refer to the range of the function, which is 4 infinity. So this is how we complete the questions. Now we go for our graphing. So for the first mark, this is marking on our original function where this mark is looking on your graph, intersect at 5, asymptote at 4. Then second mark at the refracted graph here, vertical asymptote at x equals to 4, and then point at 5. And then lastly label. So label everything, our function fx, f inverse, and refracted axis, y equals to x, origin, then all these functions. Then lastly, we go for domain. So for domain, we have another marks here for the refraction axis. We have a refraction axis. We are going to see your refraction axis whether accurate or not. And lastly, only the last mark is for all the labeling. Then we have to answer the domain. So this domain of function and domain of inverse function.